Okay, all right. Good evening, everyone. So this is day 2 of 100 days of market recap. So I this is the 15th of September 2022. So I had, based on our analysis on the 14th of September, we had predicted this downward push for the reasons we had articulated in that video. Right. So, but just give a quick recap of our recap. So you could see that the Tuesday candle, this was after the US CPI news, it closed bearish, creating a strong resistance and with a wick to the upside. Right. So it rejected strongly. And where did they reject? We look back, there was a rejection here. Now, something I've learned over the months that I have been trading is that, you see, the way to judge this, how strong a zone is how much price moved when price taps that zone. So for example, we know that this zone at 167.80 is a very strong zone because when look at this volume, price moved, and this is the daily candle. These are the daily candles. So price moved strongly, reached this zone, rejected it, and dropped massively, right? It dropped about 500 pips. It found support, moved strongly again, reached this same zone, dropped about 500 pips, and has not been able to reach this zone again, right? Now, the same thing is happening here. Price moved strongly again, reached this zone. There was a rejection, strong rejection, the same way we had this rejection here, this rejection, right? What's the most plausible thing for price to do? Price will drop, most likely drop down, right, to this level, mirroring this clean candle, the same way that this clean candle was, this clean candle upwards was mirrored to the downside. Again, this clean candle upwards was mirrored here, right? So now we're anticipating that the same thing will happen after the Tuesday candle rejected this. So this is GMT. I know this GMT would be Eastern time plus 5, I believe, because this is about New York close ish. So this is about 4 p.m. or 4:30. So it's 9:25 our time. So it would be 4:25 Eastern, right? So now this is what the daily is showing us, right? So now what the daily is showing us that we're in a bearish trend, but there's something I note on the daily, right? So now look at this. How many candles? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3 candles before we found the support to go up. Now look at what happened again. 1, 2. There was a third candle that found the support, right? Now, so what I want us to notice is that this is how you read candles better, right? So you read candles better by, you see the way there was rejection, strong candle, strong candle. This candle was not so strong as this other one, right? So this was really signaling that the bearish momentum was coming to an end. So from here, you would most likely start looking for a support, which was what happened subsequently, right? Now look at the second one. Well, good candle, good candle. Instead of this going down, it closed support. So minor support for a minor uptrend, but then we continue down later on, right? So what we'll be expecting now is that two things will happen. Two things would either happen here, right? Let's remove this to make this clear. So major resistance, big candle, right? Next thing that will most likely happen is as this candle, depending on how this candle closes in the next 32 minutes, if it closes the wick today, if it closes the wick below this support here, right, we'll most likely get a continuation down. But because for 3 days you have been bearish, what may possibly happen is that we may have either a weak bearish candle, depending on how if this candle closes with no wick to the downside, we may have a weak bearish candle, right, or a bullish candle around the same area. And this area is important. Reason being that, look, this area is important because this candle rejected, this candle rejected, this candle rejected, this candle rejected, this candle rejected. There are rejections around this area. So you may, if this candle closes with no wick to the downside, is most likely going to be just a short-lived bullish trend to continue down overall trend, right? So we're still bearish for the whole week. And going into next week, because this is the main trade for possibly next week. So we are hoping to feel half of this, at least half of this candle going into Monday or Tuesday next week. So this is how you plan out your trades, right? So now we go to the 4 hour candle. So we can see again, remember what we said in our recap yesterday. I trade mostly the 6 a.m. Eastern. That's like 6 a.m. Eastern is like your 1 a.m. Sorry, 6 a.m. GMT, sorry, is like your 1 a.m. Eastern. So now, this is your, today, this is your 2. Well, you can do so London to New York. So 2 candles you most likely trade today, these 2 candles. So 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. right? So because we know that we're in a bearish trend from what happened yesterday, right? We're in a bearish trend. Now, looking at this candle close bullish. You're like, oh, we're rejecting because this candle rejected. This candle close bullish will most likely go up. Well, yeah, that's true. But one candle does not mean change of direction. Because the way this candle closed bullish is still closing bullish at a possible resistance. Which resistance? Look at this. This candle rested here. This one retested from behind before it pushed up. This candle taps into the same zone, went up. This candle did this weird dance. So there's still something, price rejection here. So taking a buy, even though this candle closed strong bullish, may not be the best option because of this over here, right? And again, we're in a strong bearish trend. So we'll most likely be looking on the 4 hour, we'll most likely be looking for a resistance around this area, right? Now, let's go over to the 1 hour to see how we could have taken, if there were any sales to have, would have taken in line with the overall trend, right? Now, so this was, we're looking at the 6 a.m. and this was 6 a.m. and that just been ranging. This was that strong bullish trend that pushed up, pushed down. Yeah, nothing really on the nothing really from the 1 hour, right? So what we'll typically look at, although, right, you could say that this was a rejection. There was a zone here on the 1 hour, right? So we're obviously looking for a resistance, right? To go down to continue the overall trend, right? So as this candle close strong bearish, right? You are looking for a continuation to fill the daily wick. The previous daily wick was here. So you're looking for a continuation. So you would have said on the 1 hour, would have entered from here as soon as this 8 a.m. candle, well, this 9 a.m. candle close. Remember what I said yesterday? I've noticed that the 8 a.m. do not have that push anymore. It's now the 9 a.m. And it's what happened here. Look at the push, look at the volume, look at how big this candle was, right? So assuming this candle had closed, an entry may have been taking a short here, because this was weak bullish, showing us that this bullish trend was short-lived, and it closed weak bullish at a resistance. The next candle then closed strong bearish to tell us that there was a continuation, right? So you'd have entered the sell, put your stop above the previous 1 hour, expecting that it gets to here. This was like a 1:6.6 trade, right? This was the option on the 1 hour. This was the only trade that could have been taken today on the 1 hour, right? 9 a.m. Now, 30 minutes. Let's see if there was anything. 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Well, I think the trade would have just been on that 1 hour, right? So this is how we look at the chart. This is how we would have been looking at charts again. Remember, we traded just the 6 a.m. to the 10 a.m. This is a 4-hour candle. This was your 4-hour candle around here. 6 a.m. Okay, yeah, from here, sorry, to this. So this was your trade for the day. You call it a day. Hope this helps. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. If you have any question, please let me know in the comment section, and I'll be so happy to answer those questions. See you tomorrow for day 3.